And good morning at 7:04 on this Friday, June 2nd. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. The sun is shining on this Friday morning, June the 2nd, and we're glad to have you in our audience. I am glad to be back. Had to be off yesterday, and I appreciate Judge Tatum filling in for me. He always does a great job. We are on the air for Wilson Bank and Trust, and Brad Kane is with us this morning to do the commercial and talk about the bank and all about being a mortgage loan originator. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
All right. How long have you been with the bank?
I've been with the bank for 12 years now.
Oh. Tell us, you've been here before, but I don't remember, and I want to know again a little bit about your background. You grew up in this area?
I didn't. I was originally born and raised in Richmond, Kentucky, and moved here about 13 years ago, and came across the bank. They had an event that they were showing a movie, and asked my girlfriend at the time, and I said, "What's going on over there?" And she's like, "Oh, the bank's putting on an event." And I was like, "Well, that has to be worth something. Like, what do you have to pay to get in?" They're like, "Oh, you don't pay anything there." And went and met a lot of neat people, and it's been history ever since.
Did you think about banking previously, or had you been in banking at the time?
I hadn't. I had just completed college. Banking was always been an interest of mine, and I wanted to get into it. And once I met with them and met a lot of neat people, and I was like, "Wow, this is a perfect fit."
Well, tell us the path you trod to get to be a mortgage loan originator.
Yeah, so I started out at the 109 office as just a teller. I started out as the drive-through teller, then worked myself up to the head teller. Then I got into the bank trainee program back in 2014. Once I completed that program, I was assistant office manager for the Providence office in Mount Juliet. And then I did a little bit of lending, in-house lending and secondary market. And then just three years ago, I did just the mortgage loan originating.
And that's what you're doing now, strictly mortgage.
Yes, sir.
Well, tell us about that.
Yeah, so I love the mortgage industry. You know, it's helping people get into their home. A lot of first-time home buyers. Helping people figure out what they can afford in a house, and then just place them into a place that they can live.
I have an idea. There are times when they are about to, as we would say, bite off more than they can chew, and you sort of have to bring them to the table a little bit. Is that right?
Absolutely. So there's times that, we got to show them, what they can afford in the house. And so that's why we always like to get pre-approved before you go shopping, because your eyes can be a little bit bigger than your appetite. So we definitely want to show you how much you can afford based off income and debts.
Have an idea. We have an influx of people here. It's called growth, and we hear talked, if not every day, every week, that word is mentioned, and I would think that is good for people like you. With more people coming in here, that's more loan possibilities, right?
Absolutely. It gives us a little bit more opportunity to speak to a lot more people, especially people moving into the Tennessee area, and then also the ones that are coming up, just venturing into the first-time home ownership.
What has the increase in interest rates, how's that affected you? I would think it's had at least somewhat of an adverse effect. I would say you're probably not making hardly as many loans as you did a year ago, say.
Absolutely. It does cause a challenging position in my field there, because once you raise the interest rates, the cost of the actual mortgage payment goes up, and we do have ratios that we have to abide by, so it does cause a challenge for us on our end.
Yeah. If you've seen... There are regulations. Has the regulations changed much in the last 5 years?
Oh, in mortgage industry, it's always changing. So they're always making adjustments just to fit, what they think is right for us and affordability wise. And so it is consistently changing.
Well, not to get political here, but sometimes it does seem that government can intrude too much, or maybe overregulated. Other times, maybe they underregulate. Are we in a pretty good position there? Can you even talk about that?
Yeah, I do believe we are. I think they do have our interest and best need there. Because sometimes whenever you get excited, I sort of relate it back to like buying a new car. You always think, I deserve that, and I need that, and we agree with you. You do, but sometimes those regulations sort of say, hey, we've seen in the past, what has worked and what hasn't, and these are the ratios that we have to abide by. So I do think they have our needs in the best interest.
Well, when somebody approaches you, how long does it take to to get something going? And I would imagine there are times that you have some people, maybe you have to do a little bit more scrutinizing, ask a few more questions than others. But what's a general time that it takes to get something going?
Absolutely. Everybody's a little different, and in the mortgage world, that's a very unique situation because some people know exactly what they want, and they know they've been through the process, so they might have all the documentation that we need. Some of the first-time home buyers, they don't really know, so we got to talk through step by step different programs that we may have to offer. So it does differ. I usually like to get my customers, I usually say, if you can get me every document that I've asked for, I can usually get you looked at and pre-approved within a day or two. And then once you find a house, you're looking at a 30-day process.
But that's the pre-approval usually comes first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We always like to get them pre-approved so that way they know exactly how much they can afford. So that way it gives them a good ballpark figure to focus on, and then that way they know what to shop for.
Do you deviate much from that, or just pretty much a line drawn in the sand?
Yeah. So with the ratios, we can definitely tell you like what's the high point of your purchasing power, and so that gives you a good ballpark figure. So if you go a little bit over,
you just don't go over that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We can't even go 0.0001 over that. So we got to be right on. So
well, I can tell you've had quite a bit of experience here, and it seems like you really are enjoying what you're doing.
Oh yes, I love my job at Wilson Bank, and as a mortgage loan originator, just being able to help people figure out, and I think that's a big ordeal that a lot of people don't understand what all goes into the mortgage process.
But here again, when you draw the line, when you have to, but it's for their good.
It is, yes, sir.
Because you can easily, you can take too big a bite of a sandwich, let's say.
Absolutely.
Use that analogy here.
Absolutely. As we've seen in history's past, some of those situations don't lead out very well, even though you think you make it happen. So that's where the regulations step in and say, hey, this is what it looks like. This is what we've learned from the past and what you can afford.
Well, we could talk a little bit. You've been there long enough to know you've seen a lot of growth in Wilson Bank in the time you've been there. And of course, it all started in 1987 and that house, a fairly small house over there on West Main Street, and look where it is now.
Absolutely. Yes, the growth has been amazing. We've got 30 branches now, and so we're spread all over Middle Tennessee, and so it's pretty impressive.
And still growing. I mean, still reaching out. You've got a presence in Chattanooga even now.
Absolutely. If there's a neighborhood that's in need and we think that it's a good market for us and a good fit, there's definitely growth in Tennessee, and so we like to expand as much as possible.
You want to continue doing what you're doing, or you got ambition to maybe move up or move laterally into something else, or do you share those thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I always think growth is a big part of it, and so I'm comfortable where I'm at right now, but there's always room for growth and improvement, and so I always look forward to the next challenge and moving up.
We haven't really talked about your family. We could for a minute here, if there's anything you want to tell us about your family.
Yeah, absolutely. I love my family. The whole reason I'm here is because my wife, we met, 13 years ago, and she's the one that brought me to Tennessee. And so we have two kids, Landon and Kylie. Landon just graduated, and Kai's a senior coming up. So, yeah.
Wow. You and anybody that works at Wilson Bank's involved in the community in some way. What's your involvement?
Yes, sir. So young professionals, I'm real big into young professionals there in Mount Juliet. And then I attend the Bridge Fellowship here in Lebanon. And so, anything that we can get involved in and get our hands on, we like to get involved and show our face as much as possible.
Do you, are you a sports enthusiast at all?
I'm a big basketball fan. Being born in Kentucky, we sort of get a choice of red and white or blue and white, and so I'm a big Kentucky University fan there, and actually follow the Boston Celtics, which we just got put out of the tournament not too long ago.
Boston Celtics.
Yes,
Let's see.
sir.
They lost, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
Semifinals, I
Yes,
believe.
sir. We lost to the Miami Heat. Yes, sir.
Well, who's going to win it? It's not over yet, is it?
No, so they played game one last night. Denver did win that game. I hope Miami comes out and wins, so that way we can say at least we lost to the champions, but we'll see.
Brad Kane is with us, mortgage loan originator for Wilson Bank and Trust, and you may have guessed my guest that I was hoping going to be here has not shown up at this time. Tell you what, Brad, if you haven't got anywhere to go, you can sit here and we can talk some more after we go to a break and get on the phone here and see if we can find our lost guest here. So what I'm saying is it's time to take a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota. They'll help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota. Check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We still see some flashing lights over here on Mountain View Road at Murfreesboro Pike on an accident. 3500 block of Murfreesboro Pike. 2 cars involved there in the Antioch area. It's building pretty good down the interstate as we check it out live now on I-40 through the Mount Juliet area. Here comes that traffic leaving Rutherford County on 24 West, passing Bell Road up through Antioch. Hey, Nash Painting, they service all of Middle Tennessee. If you want your house painted by professionals, and I'm sure you do, you want to get it done right the first time, log on to nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey, it's Peyton Aldridge from The Voice. I'll be performing my new single, American Backyard, at the Ultimate Barbecue and Country Music Festival, Barbecue Country Fest 2023, June 3rd at Wilson County Fairgrounds. There will be plenty of food trucks, bourbon, and beer tasting, live music, and free parking, so get your tickets today at bbqcountry.com. You're in barbecue country, y'all.
Collier Engineering is a civil engineering design firm that can provide surveying for your home or property. A family-owned business in Nashville, Collier Engineering has multiple employees in Wilson County, including survey manager Dan Curry. He's a registered land surveyor and a certified floodplain surveyor. He would love the opportunity to assist with your surveying needs. Visit collierengineering.com. Call 931-510-2800. Mention this ad and get 10% off.
We continue here on a Friday morning. Brad Kane has not left the building. He is still with us, and we really didn't close it out right. I always remind people as we close out the commercial time that it is Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender, still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987, so I guess that kind of officially ends our commercial. But Brad's going to stay with us here, and let me explain. Every once in a while, there's a reason that somebody doesn't make it in. They either forget or sometimes they get lost and go all the way to Tucker's Crossroads. That's happened a time or two. And I don't normally say who is late or hasn't shown up or whatever, but I am going to this morning, and I have a reason for this. Was expecting Mr. Mike Potts, the Trousdale County Assessor of Property, to be here. And if somebody knows him, if he wants to call in, we'll still be able to talk for a few minutes here. But they are having over in historic downtown Hartsville a Downtown Sound free public concert series. The first one was held in May, and there's going to be one on the second Thursday of June, July, and August, and we were going to be talking about that this morning in particular. And for whatever reason, he has not made himself available. If we can get a phone call, if he shows up, we'll do it. And this, by the way, this Downtown Sound in downtown Hartsville, presented by the Hartsville Rotary Club. So you might keep that in mind. But back to Brad Kane, who has graciously stayed with us here and is going to talk some more. You were talking about your children. You said one had graduated.
Yes, sir. One just graduated from Lebanon High School there, and another one will be a senior coming up.
They both boys?
One boy, one girl.
Oh, okay.
Best of both worlds.
The boy is the oldest.
Yes, sir.
What's he going to do?
So he's going to attend Cumberland University in the fall, and so he doesn't know exactly what he's undeclared right now, so he doesn't know what he wants to do, which I told him it's perfectly fine.
What about the daughter?
Daughter, she's just looking forward to senior year and living her best life.
What's your wife work out? Hey, I learned this a long time. Don't ever ask a woman, do you work or does your wife work?
Yeah.
Yes, she works. Does she work outside the home?
She does. So she runs a daycare here in Lebanon called the Learning Branch here in Lebanon off Canesville Road.
You have a free commercial for that. Is she full enough?
She is full at the moment. So that's part of our problem. We have, full capacity and we could use another building.
You planning to grow?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So she enjoys this. It's good. It's good for her. It's good for the family income.
Absolutely. She has a big heart and she has a love for children. She's been doing it ever since Landon was just a baby.
Yeah.
And so she started out doing it that way and raised both of them up. And so that way she was able to spend time with her own kids. And then once they went to school, she stayed with it because she just loved it so much. And she's definitely have a big heart.
I don't think that's for everybody. There's hardly any jobs really that are for everybody, but there's a great need for somebody to take care of these children.
Oh, absolutely. All the girls that work for my wife is, they all have a huge heart and they have a desire to serve and help children learn. And those kids are just 100 miles per hour every day, all day. And so to be able to keep up with them, then go home and take care of your own kids, you're very special for sure.
What do you think? You've had enough experience in banking to at least have some idea of maybe you've seen some changes in your 12, 14 years. What are we going to see in the future? And we've had some banks to fold, which is not good. We hate to hear that, but I think a lot of this is some pretty obvious mistakes that some of them have made, and hopefully others can see the handwriting on the wall and not make the same mistakes.
Absolutely. And banking's always changing, and so it's always consistently changing, and so you just got to keep up with what's going on. And our leaders and board of directors, they have the right sight in mind and how to focus and lead us into the future. Any challenge that comes up, our board of directors are already looking into it and leading us in the right direction.
Well, I'll have to say, knowing the history of the bank, being here and seeing it started, seeing the tremendous growth, and the economic impact. Even how many people Wilson Bank employs. And of course, it's not just here in Lebanon, all these communities that you serve, and the contribution to the Middle Tennessee economy is tremendous right there.
Absolutely, yeah. We try to give back as much as possible and help, small businesses get taken off. I wish I could speak on how many businesses we've helped over the years and how many communities and just individuals in general. That's our passion, is to serve the people, and so we look, we look at every aspect, and we help anybody and everybody that we can.
And you're very involved. Everybody, it's a job, but it's almost a requirement that you do something besides what you do just at the bank.
Absolutely.
Or at least that's my observation.
Yeah. Like we said, we like to get out there and help the community, and what better way than step outside our offices and help with Habitat for Humanity. Mm-hmm. Anything that we can get our hands on and help with, it definitely helps.
You built a house last year at least.
Yes, sir.
You're going to do another one, or?
Absolutely, we look forward to it. So we hope to get our hands on. So we got people in the field that's on that board of directors with Habitat, and so we do look forward to helping in the future.
Were you a part of that a little bit, or?
I wasn't able to help. Yeah, I wasn't able to help out this time around, but we always look for opportunities to get in and step up.
Well, another thing that you've been great participants in, of course, the Wilson County Fair. Now the Wilson County Fair, Tennessee State Fair, but 2 months away, a little over 2 months away, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely. We like to give away those popsicles and that lemonade. And so, giving them away for free, I think that's almost the only thing you can get at the fair that's free, other than, little doodads at the little shops. But, popsicles are a huge hit, and we don't plan on taking that away anytime soon.
Well, it's sometimes hard to say which is the best. If you're hot, one of them popsicles will help cool you off. That lemonade's awfully good too.
Absolutely. And our banana popsicles, I didn't think those were as popular until I started working the fair, and I was like, man, banana is probably one of the most popular flavors out of all of them.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite.
There you go.
If you joined us late, Brad Kane is here. He came out to do the commercial for Wilson Bank. We're on each Friday morning as we start the program, and my guest has not arrived, and we're just, I say this with tongue in cheek, I guess. We're killing time here. But it's nice to have you here and to find out a little bit more about you and different things about the bank. Now, you're not one in the if somebody's seeking employment, that's not part of your job description, is it?
No, sir.
But,
so I'm not part of work.
Do you know if the bank's in hiring mode right now?
Absolutely. And I think, we're always looking for great talent. And so, there is always an opportunity there. So if you are interested in banking, sure, come out and talk to any of us and we'll get you in the right direction.
What was your initial, did you go ask for a job or did they come to you?
No, so I went to them. I went to the wrong person as well. I just asked around and was like, "Hey, who do I need to talk to?" And they directed me to a gentleman that was actually doing loans. And he's like, "Well, let me get you directed in the right spot." And so, they're always willing to help. So we would do the same thing.
Well, in your situation, Brad, I mean, you kind of started on the ground floor and learned more about banking and being you still call them tellers or
customer service representatives?
Okay,
Yes, sir.
that's where you started. Did
Yes,
you say?
sir.
Okay, so you learn a lot there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So it was a great opportunity for myself just to see every aspect of the bank. I got a little bit of everything, from cashing someone's check to lending them, thousands of dollars to, start their business or buy a home.
Well, we got about 4 minutes left here. Is any particular thing you'd like to say that would pertain to you or the community or even the bank, whatever this morning? Like I said, we're sort of killing time.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone that's out there interested in the home buying process, I think the first step is coming in and actually finding out and talking to somebody. So don't be scared to just drop in or even make a phone call into any one of our offices. We want to help you get into a home, and there's multiple different programs that we can go down to help you. And even if it's a hard no, we can figure out how to make it a yes, and so that way we can give you the map, into home ownership. And so we'd love the opportunity just to sit down and talk with you, to explore your options and help you get into your next home.
All right. I can't make you this loan today, but this is what you needed, this and this and this. Mm-hmm. And if you will take care of these things, like I'm telling you here, you come back in X number of days, it'll be a different answer.
Absolutely.
That's
yes.
pretty much the way it works.
Absolutely. Yeah. We can look into the depths of things and just say, hey, if maybe you pay off this one item, we can get you this house. Or, if you got a couple items on your credit report, we can dig deep and say, okay, this is what I've seen in the past. If we work with this, we could possibly get you into that house.
Credit report's very important, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got to make sure that you have a history of being able to repay. And so we do want to make sure that you have a good credit score because we are going to lend you quite a bit of money. And so we just want to make sure that's doable on your side.
Well, I got an idea. You're kind of hoping that interest rates don't go up any higher.
Yes, sir. I think we're all in that same boat. We don't want to see the interest rates go high. We definitely like to see them come down a little bit. So,
but on the other hand, for those who have some money that they maybe don't want to put in stocks or bonds or whatever, but like to have a CD, the CD rates are considerably better now than they were a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Absolutely. So like anytime, they work with one another. And so CD rates are fairly high there. And I think as of yesterday, we just dropped a CD special for 13 months. And so I think it's in the 5 range. And so, not a bad product there. If you have a little extra cash sitting around, need to put it somewhere.
Yeah, it amazes me. I've been around a long time, but I can remember the 1980, 81 too, when interest rates was 18 or 20%. Unbelievable. And you could, I've known people that borrowed money off of a life insurance policy and put it in a CD because, of course, they had to repay the loan to the life insurance company of maybe 4%, but they were getting 12, 15%.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Very nice.
a lot of ways to play the system.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, you've been a real help to me this morning to fill up this time and learned a lot about you, and I think our audience has, and I'll guarantee you there's going to be a few people who heard you this morning. He's the kind of guy I'd like to talk to get along. So, Brad Kane, thank you so much for being with us.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Again, he is with Wilson Bank and Trust Mortgage Loan Originator, and you get to sign the guest book. You not only here as a paying customer, you're here as a guest this morning too.
Thank you so much.
Put your name in there if you will. All right, that is part one of Coleman and Company. We'll take a break here. Part two coming up on FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. And it's all brought to you by Bates Ford. Get a battery installed on most vehicles. $149.95. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. There's a couple of accidents still getting some attention out here. Just allow yourself a little bit of extra time. It is Friday. 24 is pretty crowded westbound through the Hickory Hollow area. Just trying to get out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. Putting the final touches on a crash at Nolensville Pike at Harding Place. That one had some injuries earlier. The 4700 block of Lebanon Pike as they clean up that crash over in the Hermitage area. Watch for some radar on I-40 coming through Dixon County. Hey, it's time to call Crest Pest Control. They do more than your average pest control company. Check them out at crestpestcontrol.net. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
You know, starting to save for your future doesn't have to be difficult. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help tone up your financial goals this year. Our certificates of deposits or CDs can help your money work harder with our competitive rates, earning you more than ever before. WBT checking options allow you to earn rewards you can really use, like a high interest rate or cash back on check card purchases when you meet some e-banking qualifications. Visit your closest Wilson Bank and Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
A hot one in store for us today, starting in the 60s, but looking for a high of 90 degrees this afternoon. Humidity will be noticeable, but nothing oppressive to deal with. We should see temperatures hitting 91 degrees on Saturday and Sunday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number 1 Ned.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two here on a Friday morning. It's time for us to talk with the members of the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty, and our usual two are here this morning. We want to welcome Judy Cox and Medina Hemmon-Toller. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing good. It's Friday.
Yeah, this has been a short week, too.
I know.
Monday being a holiday.
Every day has been confusing. What day is this?
Actually, I wasn't here Monday and I wasn't here yesterday, so it's
then you
been
really
an
don't
even
know what
shorter
day it
week
is,
for
do
me.
you?
But yesterday was a long day. Well, the Exit Rocky Top Realty, located at 1330 West Main in Lebanon. Great people, great service. They're people you can trust, and we have 2 of them right here. And Miss Judy, get us going.
Okay, I was going to talk a little bit about when you're selling your house and purchasing another house, how this kind of works, because people go, well, how am I going to sell this one? How am I going to move out and get into that one? And we've come up with pretty much a plan that if it works right, and we usually have a plan B and C just in case, but the way it works great is just say you're selling your house and you're closing on the 15th of the month. Well, you're going to you're going to be getting your stuff all loaded up and put in the U-Haul or the moving truck or whoever's moving you, then we schedule the closing for around lunchtime. So you've got that morning to get up and they finish loading everything, and you're coming to closing with the keys in your hand. You're not going back to that house. The buyers have already done their walkthrough. You're coming, and a lot of times the moving truck, if you're staying in this area, will go on to your new house. And then a lot of people, if they're moving out of state, the moving truck gets on the road to start going, and that way you'll be there by the time the moving truck gets there. But you come to the closing, and then you sit there at the table and you do all the paperwork, and you've actually sold your house. And so for about 30 minutes, you're homeless because you've sold your house and you don't have a house. And a lot of people sit there going, I don't own anything right now. So it's kind of a weary feeling. So they give you your funds from the house, and then you're turning around then at the same table and turning around and doing the purchase of the house you're going to. And we try to fix that where it works seamlessly and all the numbers have been done ahead of time, so you already know what you're doing. And you sign the paperwork for the new house, and then you're getting the keys to it. And those people have already moved out. We want to make sure you've already done your walkthrough on the house you're going to, so it's empty, ready to go. And basically you walk out of there ready. You've purchased another house. So you sold one, and a lot of times we'll sell one and buy one within the hour. It usually takes about an hour, 30 minutes on each side if everything's in order. And a lot of people, you got to always make sure your agent talks to the lender, your banker, and the bank where your money's going to. Because a lot of banks now, when you put a big check into the bank, it has to stay there a few days before you can use it. So and with a closing attorney, we always work that out, that they're taking the funds that they're getting from their old house and put them toward their new house. So you got to make sure those funds are readily available so that works good. And that's, the agent needs to be making sure you've got that taken care of, because people don't realize that. Or a lot of people get their check and they think they go put it in the bank and they can start using it. There are rules and regulations on that, and it's according to the banks and according to how it was done.
What's generally the time frame?
Usually, if it's wired to the bank, usually you can use it right then. But sometimes it's 3 days. Some banks, it's up to 2 weeks. So you need to check with where you're putting the money. Can you have it readily available to you? Because people get their house sold here and they're going to another state. Well, they get up there and their money's not. They can't get it out yet. So a lot of wiring instructions goes on, and it's different if you wire it to the bank or if you personally take a check in there. It's two different modes. So you need to check with your financial institution to see what is their policy, because people don't know that always. They already have plans. Well, I've sold the house. I'm going to go do this, go do that. Oh, you might not can get your money yet. So, and we try to make sure that that's taken care of before closing, and everybody knows how the money chain is going to be. And also to make sure who the check is being made to. Is it being made to the husband and the wife, or just to one of them? Because if it's made to both of you, you both got to be at the bank, or you both got to have ways to get it out. So there's lots of things, and if it's an estate sale, we have to make sure if it's going to probate yet, is it going into the court funds and going to stay there until, everything probate is done? There's lots of reasons when people come to us, we go, okay, let's figure out how this is going to work all the way to the end before we get too involved in it.
Just wondering, how many closings have you participated in your life?
I don't have a clue. Some of them have been very short. Some of them have been drawn out. Some of them we've had to come back.
But several thousand?
Yeah, because you can, the thing of it is, you don't want these things to come up at close and go, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I could do this. We need to have all those answers solved before we get to closing.
Yeah.
We want closing to be, you go in, you've already seen the numbers, you just look to make sure they're the same that we've already told you and showed you the day before, then you sign everything, and 30-minute closing should be about what it should be. If you got a good closing attorney, which we've got some great ones here in town, and they're seamless, sign, show your identity, and then you're out of there and you've got your new keys going to where you're going.
And you're just going to make it as smooth and as good and as quick as possible.
Well, that's what we try to do, because, there's all kinds of hiccups can come up, and we've had them all happen. So we try to go over our checklist to make sure, have you done this? Have you done that? So we just want to make it easy for you. It's stressful because it's the biggest financial decision you make in your life. And a lot of times, if you had a house for a long, long time and you're selling it, it's sentimental, it's very emotional that day. So it's, we have to learn to work with the emotions of people.
Okay, is it Medena's turn?
Yes, let her go.
When you think you have seen everything, you are proven wrong the next day. But anyway, if you're looking for a home and you want to list your home and you want to purchase another one, here's two of them that we might have for you that you might be interested in. We have an coming soon at 991 Old Lagardo Road. And everybody knows that road by the Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's down 109. You turn right onto Old Lagardo Road, and it's on your right. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of property with almost 5 acres. It's like 4.63 acres. Huge backyard, huge front yard, beautiful mature trees. It has a house on it with 2 bedrooms and 2 full baths, and living room, dining room combination with a screened-in Florida room, bonus room, however you want to say that, and a deck on the back. And it has a detached shed, and then it also has a storage building in the back. And this will be listed at $429,900. So it will be available hopefully next week. We're getting it all cleaned up right now. The seller's getting everything ready for showing, but it's coming soon at $429,900. Beautiful, beautiful piece of property.
Great location.
Great location. You're close to the interstate. You're not on Highway 109. You're right off of it, but you get right on it. And of course, all that area is up and coming and growing. So, but you're not right on Highway 109.
And not far from Old Hickory Lake.
And not far from Old Hickory Lake. So there's plenty of room for a boat of this property.
All right.
So give us a call on that one. And then we also have a piece of property on Rutledge Lane, which is down 231 North, and it is 7.11 acres. Now, this is a property that if you're wanting to build, it already has everything on it. It has electricity, it has water, and it has a septic tank already on the property. Perk for a 3-bedroom. All it needs is a home, if that's what you're looking for. Or you could just use it as an investment property. But it's down Rutledge Lane, and it is 7.11 acres, and it's been a new price of $399,900. So that's like $56,000 an acre, which is a good deal for Lebanon in that area, and on the north side in Rutledge Lane, close to the interstate, Hartman Drive, Carroll Oakland School, Coast Ferry, all the schools there. So give us a call on that one. We'd be glad to show you that one or show you another one, tell you about it. But those are 2 prime properties in Lebanon that you might be interested in looking at.
All right. Thank you all, of course, for being with us. We'll do it again next Friday. But in the meantime, you've got to tell us to...
Remember, you don't ever want to make a move without us.
Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.
CND team, exit Rocky Top Realty, 1330 West Main in Lebanon. And that takes us to about 19 minutes before 8 o'clock. I have a guest for part 2 this morning, lady that I'm going to meet here for the first time, but I would say highly recommended by the boss here, Susie James. Kelsey Taylor, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's nice to have you with us today. And I think you spoke at, didn't you speak at the Kiwanis Club a while back?
I did not long ago during May for May's Mental Health Awareness Month.
And Susie said if you need a guest, she would make a good one and gave me a little information about you. And so we appreciate you being with us this morning. Community Response and Training Director of Volunteer Behavioral Health Care System. That's your title, right?
That is. It's long, but that is it.
Tell us a little bit about you, if you will.
Yeah, so I am Kelsey Taylor. I work for Volunteer Behavioral Health, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We offer mental health services in 32 counties in Tennessee. I oversee our development and implementation of our co-responder program, which essentially embeds mental health clinicians within law enforcement departments in 9 different law enforcement departments across Middle and Southeast Tennessee. So the point of that is to really have a clinician ride with an officer or respond secondary to the scene in order to better assist individuals who are in a crisis. So that can be a mental health crisis, that can be someone experiencing thoughts of harm to themselves as well as potentially psychosis, but we offer more than that. We do any type of crisis, really just a listening ear, referrals to services. What can we do to better help these individuals?
How did you get involved in this? Tell us a little bit about your background, if you will.
Yeah, so I, going way back, and I think it's fitting since we're in Lebanon, I graduated from Lebanon High School in 2011. I got my bachelor's in psychology and then my master's in social work, and then went on to become a licensed master social worker. I began working for Volunteer Behavioral Health about 6 years ago as a mobile crisis responder.
What prompted you, or what it's sort of a calling or whatever? How did this appeal to you, and how was your original involvement?
Yeah, good question. So mental health, I think that to raise awareness about this, I'll be honest, I've had my own struggles. It's always a recovery. At no point do I just, for the rest of my life, do I expect to never struggle with anxiety, excessive worry at times. But, I seek my own professionals for that. I think that, I've had families go through, issues with, or, challenges with mental health. And I think I just want to be there for others and assist them like the individuals who helped me.
Okay, with that, we'll take a break. Kelsey Taylor, my guest. We'll talk more in a moment. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, they'll help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota, check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We still see some traffic volume right now on I-24 as you come up through the Hickory Hollow area, coming out of Rutherford County, leaving Murfreesboro, headed towards Davidson. Traffic still positive at the moment through Wilson County, Mount Juliet area. Some radar out near Belinda Parkway on I-40 there in the Mount Juliet area. Be careful. Hey, Nash Painting, they service all of Middle Tennessee. If you want your house painted by professionals, and I'm sure you do, check with these guys first, nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey, it's Peyton Aldridge from The Voice. I'll be performing my new single, American Backyard, at the Ultimate Barbecue and Country Music Festival, Barbecue Country Fest 2023, June 3rd at Wilson County Fairgrounds. There will be plenty of food trucks, bourbon, and beer tasting, live music, and free parking, so get your tickets today at bbqcountry.com. You're in barbecue country, y'all.
It's summertime, summertime, summertime.
The sun is shining, flowers are blooming, and it's time to get your backyard ready for all that summertime fun.
Well, if you want a bigger backyard, or maybe you don't want to mow anymore, let us help you find the home that fits your needs.
Houses are flying off the market so quickly, you really need to get a real estate agent to help you to find that dream home.
That's why you don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team 443-3130.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a Friday morning. Kelsey Taylor is my guest. LMSW, what's that?
Licensed Master Social Worker.
Okay. And of course, with the Community Response Training Director for Volunteer Behavioral Health Care System, as we've already said. And you said you do cover most of Middle Tennessee and maybe go over towards southwest East Tennessee, towards the Chattanooga area, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Southeast Tennessee, down near Chattanooga, Cleveland.
what's it like, what you do? You talked about that a little bit, but maybe are you mostly in a supervisory capacity?
Supervisory capacity, yes, as well as I train all of my clinicians, who shout out to them because they're wonderful, just caring, amazing individuals. And then I assist with trainings where, with law enforcement, helping them, with education regarding responding to individuals with mental health challenges.
Well, I don't know. I don't have statistics or anything, but it just seems like there's more of this in the news anymore. It's happening more than it used to. Now, I don't know whether it's better reporting or if our situation is, I'd say, deteriorated, if the problem is bigger. What do you think?
I think that COVID definitely didn't help the situation. A lot of people were, quarantined at home, and then that led to just isolation and some deterioration in mental health.
Well, you have to deal with it, and you've been trained in that area, and I guess it's something that this training and all law enforcement is becoming more involved and more aware, and the need is there for being able to deal with that in their regard.
Yeah, so the need for the program that I work with has just been steadily growing as more and more officer time is spent responding to these calls. They are the experts in safety, where we are the experts in mental health and de-escalation and routing to the appropriate services. We are not here to, move police out of the situation. We want to collaborate with police. We want to respond together and really shine a light on how well we can do things together and better assist individuals.
Mm-hmm. Well, we get in some real dangerous and heated situations, and I think we're all aware of some of those. The bad ones certainly get a lot of publicity, get a lot of news coverage, and it's kind of scary to all of us, I guess. And I would hate to be in the policeman's shoes. They've got to protect themselves. There's can be and has been. We hear about a lot, some dangerous situations, guns, shootings are involved. You're in the middle of this too. Mm-hmm. Talk about that.
Yes, so all the clinicians are, especially those that respond primary. They're in the vehicle. They're riding in that passenger seat. They are fitted with ballistic vests for safety. Now, we do clearly, we don't put police on these vests. We put like mental health co-responder or, co-response specialist, something to make sure, we make sure they're potentially a different color than what police are, so that individuals can know that this clinician, although they're showing with police, they are not with police. But it is dangerous, and these clinicians are trained to really look out for those signs of a potential violent individual. But it's just, you can't predict the future, but we do the best we can.
Do you? These volatile situations can a lot of them, most of them, maybe you appeal to their senses and get them calmed down. You're kind of trained in that area, aren't you?
Yeah, and that goes a lot towards verbal de-escalation and, just responding with empathy and really putting ourselves in their shoes and trying to understand, why they've gotten to this point, why, what has caused this, what can we do? We want to help, but first, we need to know what's going on. We need to listen first instead of just giving advice or guidance or, telling them, what they should do, because everyone, how they cope with a situation is going to be different. It's something that helps for me may not work for someone else. So really listening, non-judgmental listening is the key with that verbal de-escalation.
If you had some good end results in what you're doing with the police and maybe are able to make a bad situation better because of your presence and you're dealing with this?
Oh, absolutely. And, I have so much respect for the police departments, and the police just, let us know all the time how grateful they are for us, because there have been clinicians, where the individual, is afraid of police. So the clinician will really step in. And, there was one in Murfreesboro that, the clinician really de-escalated that situation before it ended with going like completely hands-on, restrained. So without that clinician being there, it probably would have ended a lot differently.
Have you been involved in some of these yourself?
I when I train the clinicians, I do for the last at least week, I will respond out with them, yes, to make sure that, I'm not just training them, in say like from a book sense, but really in the real world sense.
You anticipate a good ending all the time? You're hoping for it.
We are hoping for it, and we try to do everything we can to let individuals know that we are here. We are here to help. And, in Wilson County, we do currently have a co-response clinician with Mount Juliet Police Department, and we have one starting Monday for Lebanon Police Department. So, Lebanon's won't be good to go right on Monday, but in about 4 weeks after she finishes her training, then you should possibly be seeing her out in the community.
This evidently is a growing thing that we're probably going to be seeing more and more of.
Yes. So right now, these positions are grant funded. The grant was set to end in March 2023 of this year. However, we extended funding through March 2025. I don't see this program going away, though. I think that officers could use all the additional tools that they can fit on their belt. I do not see this program going away.
Well, I'm wondering if the problem is getting bigger and bigger. The problems with mental health. I mean, we're a growing area here. More influx of people here. The more of these we're probably going to have. But I'm thinking that it may be a growing problem as well. That the ball is getting bigger, not smaller.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Well, and I think that results from a nationwide shortage of mental health providers.
Oh.
I read somewhere the other day that in Wilson County, the to resident, it's like 1 to 1,500. So we've really got to we have to increase access to those services.
Well, let me ask you this. I think you are called upon maybe to speak to civic groups, to maybe church group people, different people in the community, if they want a program, or you make yourself available to explain what this is all about. How do people receive you and what you're doing, and the idea of the problems entailed with mental health? Mm-hmm. Is it if it doesn't affect you tend to not even think about it a lot of times, but it is affecting more and more of us all the time.
Mm-hmm. If someone's asking me to speak, normally they are very receptive of the information, and they want to learn more about what we can do to really provide early intervention, which is basically, when you start to notice a change in someone, they're acting differently than, how they were previously, is really getting involved at that point, asking them, are you okay? I'm here if you ever want to talk. We really want to intervene early, because that can, if we get it early, we can potentially stop a person from deteriorating to the point of harm to self or others.
Do you feel that our governments, wherever it's coming from, need to do more funding for this?
I mean, we are funded through, federal grants that trickled down through the state. So, I hope in March 2025, they will continue to extend our funding because these positions, we don't, with the clinician, we don't get billable hours. It's not like a fee for service. Like people aren't charged when these clinicians respond out with police, okay? But we have to show that through data collection, through early intervention, and the optimum utilization of resources that we can really save money, cost avoidance, cost savings, reduce the burden on the judicial system and the healthcare system by connecting these individuals to community-based services.
Are you welcomed by the judges, let's say? Or do you have a relationship there?
I think we're a very new program. We need to get more involved with the judges when we talk about, I have co-responders who will go to court and advocate for treatment over incarceration because these individuals, sometimes they're incarcerated, but it's really due to a mental illness, and just incarcerating them isn't going to help them get better. We need to find diversion ways to better help these individuals rather than just locking them up.
Mm-hmm. What's the best way to get in touch with you, to contact you, if somebody would like to have you come and speak to their group?
So you can always call our crisis line at 1-800-704-2651. You can ask for Kelsey Taylor and they will get you in touch with me. That is also a good number to not only get in touch with me, but if you are having a mental health crisis or if you know someone who is having a mental health crisis, that is a good number to use.
What about a website? You have one of those?
We have the B as in boy, H as in Henry, C as in cat, S as in Sam.org. So that's our volunteer website. I always tend to, use names with it because the V and the B could be, with my speech, it can be confused.
Well, we've, believe it or not, come to the end of our time here. It's just about 8 o'clock. Want to thank you, Kelsey, for coming out and sharing this with us. And if anybody would like to get in touch, that would be great, I'm sure. And we thank you again.
Thank you so much.
That's going to do it for Friday. Have a nice weekend, everybody. And until Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.